of the most anticipated amendment has finally come, which is to overcome the much celebrated ruling of Supreme Court in Canon India, which held that DRI is not the proper officer to issue demand notices under Section 28 of the Customs Act. Now, following Canon, which was issued in March 2021, Supreme Court and almost every High Court and tribunal in the country had quashed various show cause notices on the preliminary ground that DRI does not have the jurisdiction to have issued the show cause notices, as they were not the ones who had cleared in the first instance the imports. They were also not the proper officer in terms of the definition under 234. Massive revenue of the government was at stake. And so finally, in the Finance Bill 2022, the government has introduced slew of provisions. Most particularly, they have amended Section 234 and Section 3 and 5 to specifically provide that DRI is the proper officer. They have also introduced a validating provision by virtue of Section 96 to say that all acts done in the past and all previous proceedings will be governed by the amended Customs Act. Now, the consequence of this is heavy on all those matters which are pending before various tribunals, various high courts, because post this amendment, either those writs and petitions will have to be further amended to challenge the constitutionality of this validating provisions, which has a retrospective impact. It also reminds one of how a decade back, when in the Supreme Court in Sayyid Ali had held that Commissioner of Customs is not a proper officer, the government had introduced a specific provision, a validating provision, effectively nullifying the Sayyid Ali ruling. Those validating provisions were subject matter of dispute in different high courts. And now the final outcome is pending before the Supreme Court. It appears that even this validating provision will be a subject matter of challenge. And ultimately, it will be the Supreme Court who will arbitrate on the constitutionality of these validating provisions.